Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fool's Apprentice. My name is Benny, and today we have another tarot chat. Here I have Jennifer, who also has a tarot tube. Hi, Jennifer. How are you doing?
Great. How are you, Benny?
I'm doing really well. I mean, a little bit of drama before we started,
It's okay.
but I'm doing really well overall. Other than being under the weather a little bit, it's been a good week overall.
Oh, good, good. I'm glad. Yep, we're plugging along over here too. Same. I think it's the weather changes, right? Like, yeah.
Yes. This
Yeah.
morning I thought I was going to get like a sore throat, but it kind of went away.
Oh, that's good.
Can you tell us a little bit about you and your channel?
Sure. So I'm Jennifer with Bohemian Rose Tarot. And on my channel, I mostly do unboxings, walkthroughs, some chats about topical things, a few VRs, and I'm hoping to do some pick a cards once in a while, but that's really not the purpose of my channel. My purpose of my channel is really to create more of a community or join more of a community in the tarot world. So,
That's awesome. I will tell you that the main reason I started my channel was to feel like part of a community because I just learned recently that we do actually have a shop here in San Antonio where people come together to talk about the tarot. So I haven't been there yet, but I intend to go.
oh, nice.
But I had nobody to talk to. I had nobody kind of to express the excitement of tarot. Um, and really, what happened was I ended up, and people are going to be tired of hearing my story. I went on YouTube to see somebody who was brand new, who'd never done tarot, so I could follow their journey, kind of see how they learned it. Didn't find one, so I said, "Well, I'll do it." And so here I am, a year and a half later.
That's awesome. And your name is perfect. I love the name of your channel. The Fool's
Oh,
Apprentice is such a cool name.
thank you very much. Yeah, I had a different name. But it turned out somebody else had it, but for a business, not to. And so I had to come up with something else. And this just that yeah, it really is a really good
It's
name. Really.
perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. Mine is very similar, actually. Um, there's a couple of metaphysical shops out here in Arizona where I live, and the I was going to a tarot salon, which is like a little social to get together and practice tarot with other people who do tarot.
Mm.
And they kind of stopped. I met one of my best friends and best friends in tarot here, um, and that was really fun. And we still get together and read in a coffee shop about once a month together. But yeah, finding that community, right? That was exactly why. And I noticed there just seemed to be this beautiful community online. So here I
Yeah,
am.
how long have you had your channel?
I haven't had my channel very long at all, maybe 6 months, not even. I'm trying to remember, probably July-ish is my guess. So it's really new still. So I'm enjoying it.
So how long have you been using the tarot?
Quite a few years now, maybe it was right before COVID. So I'm
Okay.
trying, so I'm, time is relative with that, right? Like, I
Yes.
feel like that whole time period was weird. Um, yeah, so my my little backstory is so funny. I was working in a hospital, and one of the doctors that I worked with um, noticed, I wasn't a very grounded person at the time. We had just moved here from another state. Both of my kids were in college. I was a brand new empty nester, right? Trying to find my new way. So they recommended maybe some oracle cards, right? So I got an oracle deck and played with it and liked it. And then you're going to laugh, I have it right here. I gave this as a gift to that boss.
Oh,
I love this deck. It's hysterical. It is a little saucy, just a heads up. I don't think there's a bad word on the cover. But I gave that to her as a gift. Um, and every day our whole team would come in and draw a card from that deck and start our day that way.
that's awesome.
So much fun. And yeah, then I'm a musician. And so then I was in Bookman's, which is a big used bookstore and everything store here in town. And I was there to buy a P bass, to buy a new bass. And I was standing in line to buy the base, and then Kitchen Table Tarot, and I'm forgetting the name of the person who wrote it. Um, Sorry, but Kitchen Table Tarot was there, and I love any as like pinup aesthetic or 50s aesthetic or any of that is really interesting to me. And that the cover of the book is very Housewives Tarot. I don't know if you're familiar
Yes,
with
yes,
that,
I've
but
read
yeah, yeah.
it. It's a really
So
good book.
it is a really great book, isn't it? So yeah, we just I picked that up and I was thumbing through it while I was standing in this really long line, and I'm like, huh. And I went right back to the cases where they keep their tarot, and I bought my first tarot.
Very cool. What
And
was your first tarot?
my very first tarot was the Golden Tarot. Um,
Okay.
Nouveau Tarot, sorry, Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. That was my very first. So, yeah,
I
it
honestly I don't remember my first tarot.
you don't? Oh,
No.
wow.
I am really bad. My memory is not the best. In fact, I got really nervous about my memory. So I had a neurological memory test done, and neurological is fancy, but they just ask you a bunch of questions. You have to take a whole bunch of tests. And in fact, my memory is really good overall. My brain functions really high. She said she gave me some ideas of what it could be. But for me not to worry about it, it's not Alzheimer's, not dementia, because I was really worried about that.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, I don't remember my first deck at all, which one that was, but I do remember the first deck that made an impact on me, which is the Royal Fez of Moroccan.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
it was like my first unicorn deck because it's out of print. I couldn't really find it. Finally found it. It was crazy money. And then my brother bought me the first one. It was $100. Super excited. Then we moved and I couldn't find it, and I haven't been able to find it. And then I got lucky. I found it again. It was this crazy thing. I looked for it. There was one for $1,500, I think. The other one was like $800. I'm like, I'm not paying that much. And then one day was on Macari.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
and it was for like $150, and I'm like, oh. So I contacted them. They were telling me like, oh, it comes from a smoker's house. And okay, so here I was trying to be savvy. Oh, I don't know, I have to think about it. I don't know if I and they told me it smelled like smoke. Just give me a day. And they're like, just make any offer. And I'm like, no, I really need to think about it because the smoke is that might be an issue. And then the next day they had posted it for like $50. And so I just purchased it.
Wow, you're very lucky. That's amazing.
Then there were 4 cards that had water damage. They were tint like that coffee stain, dark yellow, brown. And so then I went on eBay and I found somebody who was selling only the majors, or it looked like only majors. I wasn't sure. So I bought it because it had 20 cards and all the cards that were damaged were in that deck. So I got a pretty good
Gosh,
crazy,
that's cool.
very crazy.
Looking for you, Benny. I tell you what, that's amazing.
Like these decks that I'm getting that I shouldn't be able to get, it's crazy. I'm like, what's going on? Is it that I'm getting these decks? But so you got the Golden Dawn. So how did you start like learning the cards?
Yeah, so it was the Golden Art Nouveau, actually. I'm not real familiar with Thoth yet, but I'm getting there. Yeah, so and I started reading, and then I went and got a reading from someone, and it was amazing. And she taught classes, Ellen Gillen. So I decided after this was after about 6 months or so of practicing and trying to do my own thing. And then my second tarot was the Housewives Tarot because I just thought it was super cute. So I was using that one more. I didn't have an RWS yet. And then I took Ellen's class, and it was an online class, but it was a collaborative class with 6 other people. And so we could message each other whenever we had something going on. We'd do something like this once a month, right? Which was really fun to work together with people, not just see a video, right? She was excellent in helping me really learn the cards, the analogies, and everything that she used. I'm trying to remember some of them. But after that, and I had to get an RWS for that. So after that, yeah, I just started really studying, and since then, I'm kind of a class junkie with tarot. So since then, I've taken a class with Teresa Reed. I've taken the Hay House certification class. I'm taking Lisa's intermediate class right now, which is really, really good. Her intuitive tarot
Yeah,
is really good. Um, and then, yeah, I would take any class I could at local shops here just to kind of learn everybody's different take on the tarot.
that's
Uh,
amazing.
it
I
was
think
really
there's so many classes.
well, I'm kind of one of those people who I don't feel super confident until I really know something. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think I'll ever know everything about tarot. So,
Oh,
right?
it's one of those things, the more you know, the more you realize there's a lot more to learn.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, then I discovered, I'll just start reading with what I know and intuitively, and we'll go with it. And so, um, I offered a few readings for like $1 on my Etsy shop. Well, I'd done some readings for some friends, right? And they were all kind of like, "Wow, well, that was fun, right? Oh, okay, I can do this." And I I worked with my jeweler friend. She sells tarot jewelry, and so I said, "Hey, if someone buys some tarot jewelry from you, I'll give them a coupon for $1 reading on my little shop." And
That
so
is a really good idea.
it was fun. So I got a ton of clients from that and read a lot with that, and offered I on a few of the Facebook groups, I'd offer, "Hey, I'll do a 3 card reading for 10 people, first 10," and did that just to kind of get my chops up,
Yeah,
right? Um, so the more and at that tarot salon thing that I was talking about, reading in person is such a different experience than reading online,
yeah.
right? Um,
Yes.
it is. So yeah, so I'm in talks with a shop right now to do some reading in their shop, but
That is
I'm
exciting.
very excited. That just happened this weekend, so I'm really, really excited. There's a new shop in town, and
Did
we
you approach them?
yeah, I went in and, they're both well, she's a former teacher and, he's still a teacher, and they opened this beautiful shop. She's making, a gorgeous deck. She's a former art teacher and an artist, and she reads, and she has someone who can only come in once a month, and I'm like, "Hey, well, if you need someone to fill in the gaps." So, we're still in talks about that, so we'll see how that goes, but that would be really, really fun.
Oh my God, that is so awesome.
Thank you.
Excited for you.
Thank you. I'm very excited too. I'm very excited too. It's good. The Etsy thing, it's really, really flooded, right? It's hard to
Oh, yes.
yeah, a lot of the readers on there, and I'm not saying all, please, that's not what I'm saying, but there are a lot of readers who'll do like within an hour, a reading for $2 or whatever, right? And they're using AI. There's no other way to do that kind of thing with that many, right?
Right.
Um,
I didn't even think about that they would
yeah,
be using AI.
yeah. And so, I do a whole write up and I do a whole video and I do a whole, so it takes a lot of time. Because I can't, yeah, I'm not going to do the press a button and send someone a reading, right? But really, that's the only way they can generate that many readings, I think,
Yeah.
once for that cheaply. So,
So of all the courses that you've taken,
mhm.
like if you got somebody who's brand new, which is the one that you would recommend to a brand new tarot reader?
Oh, wow. So I would say the ones that I loved the most were the in-person ones.
Hmm.
So if you can find a metaphysical shop in your area that has a Tarot 101, where you physically go and you get to play with cards with other people at the table, I would say that's your best bet first. Obviously, it depends on the teacher, right? Just because I'm a hands-on learner and sometimes video learning is hard for me, right? So, but other than that, the Teresa Reed, is it Insight something? She has an advanced class coming up here soon that I really want to take. Um, I love her. So that's a really great way to start. And honestly, I learned a lot even from her. I'm kind of a fangirl. I've read a lot of her books. But she does an Instagram post every, I think it's Monday and Friday. So Monday through Thursday, she does a astrology and then tarot readings for each sign of the zodiac. And then Friday, she does the weekend forecast kind of idea, and she'll pull two cards. But honestly, watching her consistently and how she interprets the cards was incredibly helpful, even to just internalize, right?
Yes, yes.
So,
I can actually relate to that.
hmm
I don't remember. I'm horrible with names. I'm horrible with names.
I'm bad too with that, so no worries.
I was just talking to Allie, from Tay Tarot last night, and I was talking. She was bringing up people's names, and I'm like, I'm sorry, who's
No,
that?
it's
So then
okay.
she has to tell me. But there's this one guy who he cracks me up. He does these really quick readings, short videos, and they're quick. Um, and I think he's really fun to watch because they are so quick, but he uses a Rider-Waite-Smith traditional
Mhm.
uh, deck. And so when he speaks, I can see why
Yeah.
he's the way he's saying for the card.
Yes.
And so I want to make sure I share that with everybody, because it's Madam Adam. I can't believe.
Madam Adam,
Yes, yes,
he's another one I learned from.
yes.
Yes. He is
He
a BS reader, right?
he's funny. You know,
Funny.
he does crack me up quite a bit, and you can tell he's used that deck forever. If you pay attention to
Yes.
the deck, it's very warped and used, and it's
Yes.
very flexible, and the way he shuffles, and then those
Yes.
nails. I don't
I
know how you
I wish I could have nails like that. Yeah.
but yeah, he's fun to watch, and so I'll watch him. I'll watch several videos, and I really pay attention to what he's saying in relation to the card. And I'm like, okay, I could see that. I could see that. And so it's another nugget that I can add to that card. I may not memorize it, but I'm thinking it gives me a concept that later on my own, I'll be able to pull from.
Absolutely. And because he usually does a three-card draw, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to see how he connects the cards too, because he tells the story of the card,
Mhm.
right? He'll pull one at a time, but then he connects them all. And I think that's the trick. That's the hard part in reading sometimes is connecting everything, right? No, I absolutely agree. I actually bought a reading for like a one card draw reading from him once. It was,
Okay.
yeah,
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 things that okay. One, his personality just is crazy.
yes, yes,
I also like the fact that his readings are not always positive.
yes,
Yeah, so there is where the cards are the cards, and I like that, it's not skewed, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood
yes,
kind of a
yes.
reading. And then the second thing that I like is that, well, it's not that I like it, but he's not really worried about what words come out of his mouth.
I know, right?
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. He just kind of does what he does and he's like, take it or leave it. Yeah.
and the thing is, I think when it comes to language, I'm gonna cuss people, so if you have an issue. So, I really do feel that language has a way of connecting people and really emphasizing, um, a certain experience. So, like, I'm really having a bad day. It's not the same thing as I'm having a fucking bad day. Two
Absolutely.
very different things. Like, I'm having a really, really horrible day. It's not the same thing as saying, "I'm having a fucking horrible day." I
Right?
mean, there is a significant difference in those things. So sometimes I think the cursing is appropriate
Yes.
based on the context of the information.
Yes. And that is also kind of his calling card, right? Is he is
Yeah,
the no BS reader, right? He's
yeah,
like,
he's just very
I'm not gonna nice wash this. Yeah, you're gonna get what you get. Yeah.
Do you ever get careful? Are you conscious about your language when you're doing videos?
I am, and once in a while I'll drop language, right? Because that's part of me. I'm not a totally, clean mouth person. Like the spiritual AF deck that we did, right? The former place I worked, there's F bombs and words all over that deck, and we would laugh and it would be a great release, right? In the morning, for the team. So yeah, I do once in a while I have a few decks that are saucy, right, that I might show. I even did show a deck with a ton of nudity in it not long ago that is really a beautiful deck. But some people are concerned about that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the tarot, what is it? Tarot des Femmes Erotiques.
Can I
Um,
see the cover?
yeah, it's beautiful. I got
Oh,
a
you did a video on that.
did.
Yeah.
So I don't shy away from that kind of stuff just because it's part of life, I guess, right? And
Yeah.
yeah.
I am somewhat conscious about the language that I use, but I also have to wear like uh I have a very professional job. So in that environment, I don't have to think about not cussing because my mind kind of switches into cuss
Yes.
mode. And it kind of feels the same almost when I get in front of the video. I'm aware of my language. So I think in the back of my mind, it kind of filters before I say something. I'm trying to think if I've ever really cussed. I don't think I have until today.
I might have like I think what you're saying is really true. I work with like little kids, pre-K through eighth grade, so I have to really watch my language during
Yeah.
the day, right? If someone does something I can't drop an F-bomb, that would be bad. I'd get fired. So, but
Well,
I think
uh,
you're right. We code switch, right?
yes. I was gonna going back to the classes for you.
Mhm.
I Do you watch Truth and Story with Kelly?
Maybe.
Oh my gosh, you
Okay, I'm
need you need to follow.
gonna do now.
She is like the guru of tarot tube for me. Language is so broad. She like the back of her hand, she knows tarot, Marseille, Thoth, Hipper,
Nice.
Lenormand.
Oh, wow.
I mean, she uses her numerology, elements. They're like if you talk to her, she knows it. She knows it.
That's awesome. And truth in story?
Truth in Story. So her
Okay.
name is Kelly. I think it's Fitzgerald.
Um,
She does classes as well. I'm taking one right now.
oh,
Her classes are amazing. They're live. You can
oh,
do the pre-recorded as well, and you'll just get just as much. Um, but they're like $60 to $70, and it's like 3 or 4 weeks
oh,
for
that's not bad at all.
2 or 3 hours each week. It's
Nice.
they're really really good classes. So right now we're doing a reading class on how to read better, which I think would love.
I would love that. No, I'm gonna have to totally look that up. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, because like I said, I'm kind of a class junkie, but I think that's the educator in me. I always want to learn more, right? So,
I will tell you, she has the best walkthroughs because she can easily tell you why that card represents the traditional card that we're used to, like the Rider-Waite-Smith. Like
um,
we see the Fool, and then she has this Fool. It's not typically Rider-Waite-Smith, but it is, based on it, and she can tell you why. And
oh,
then you're like, oh, okay, I see it now. And I've learned a lot because of her.
oh, very good. I will have to check that out. Thank you.
So, what were the biggest challenges for you in learning the tarot? Like, what were like the big hiccups that made you go, "Oh, I'm never going to get this"?
So, yeah, doubting myself, right? That's a big one. Is this really happening? Do I really like learn insights? I do, like doubting myself.
Mhm.
Um, but I think too, even there's still a stigma that surrounds tarot, right? And so that the lack of community, right? Like I'm still very much in the tarot closet within the people I hang out with in real life mostly. Does that make sense?
Yes, one of my kids just went out.
It's not like, oops.
Battery the battery died.
Yeah, no worries. You're good. I can still see you.
Soon.
So I think that's probably the biggest hiccup right now and has been. And then just spending the time um to learn, right? I think that
Oh,
yeah, right? The
I,
and study. It takes self-discipline.
which I'm horrible at right now. For some reason, this last like 3 months, it's been bad for me.
Yeah. I have some pretty crazy inattentive ADHD, right? So I tend to flit, which is what I do with decks too. But but I noticed that if I really have time and I sit down and do it, and I think my channel has helped me with that focus as well,
Okay.
right? Um, The court cards are always sticklers for me, particularly for some reason the pages. I feel like I've got and the kings. I've got the queens and I've got the knights. I don't know why I have trouble with the pages and the kings
Have
sometimes.
you associated them with people or you've just learned the card?
I'm trying to associate them with people now. I know that that's a really good trick that I need to start doing. Yeah. So,
And
um
I've been thinking, I think decks that have are based on TV shows or movies kind of
yes.
give like Game of
Yes.
Thrones, they have characters for each of them. So I just bought the deck. I didn't get the linen one. I want the linen one.
Uh
Get the other one over it. But
I
they have them, and I'm thinking, do I want to use those as, reminders? And I'm trying to figure it out, but I don't have them, not even close to knowing what they are.
Yeah, those are tricky. I will say like some of those theme decks are helpful. I'm a child of the 80s, right? And so
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so I got an 80s tarot deck and that is actually because it has all these things from my childhood that are so ingrained. I think those that has helped a little bit. Like you really have to look at it. Oh, Mr. Professor. It's is the the
Oh, yeah. When you said that, Mr. Professor, I'm thinking the Gilligan's Island, the professor be a character.
tarot card would he be? Ooh, which one would
I
he
I
be?
don't know the court cards, so I have
With
no idea.
sports, probably. I
Oh, the swords, yes, because he's very
He's very intelligent. Maybe the
I
king.
would you know what, probably the knight, because he is
Yeah,
very trying to solve the issue right then.
yes, energetic. He's
Yeah,
very
so
no, I think you're right. I think the knight. Yes.
how funny that I'm like, made that association. I'm like, "Oh,
No, that's
bit."
hey. No, I think you're right. Absolutely.
Now,
Gilligan's the fool.
yes, of course. Did you ever, did you have a card or a set of cards outside of the courts that you were like, "I don't know why I'm not getting this card. Like, what is it about this card that is just not making sense to me?"
Yeah, let's see. I think I have trouble with sometimes the two of wands and the three of wands. Oh, sorry, I did a peace sign and it didn't move.
Ah, that's hilarious.
Heart. Will it do a heart too? There we
Oh my God, can I do a thumbs up? Will a thumbs up come up? Yes.
go. So I sometimes the two of wands and the three of wands because they look so similar, right? They're both
Okay.
staring out. But I feel like I have that kind of down now. I think in the majors, let me think. Temperance and judgment. Probably judgment has been the hardest one for me because judgment in my head means something very different than that card actually means, right?
Mm.
The card
Oh,
means rebirth and new start and right and
well, the way I've been learning, and this is recent. Where did I get this from? Hopefully it'll come to me, but I was looking at the different. Oh, I was doing I did a wheel of the year for a friend of mine.
oh fun.
She ended up with six major arcana cards.
Big year.
Judgment and justice came up. And the way I learned that was justice is society and making decisions based on what's going outside of me. Judgment is being able to look in the mirror and know that I've lived ethically and morally based on the decisions that I've made. And so it's really about looking within and deciding, is this the right thing that I'm supposed to be doing? Or am I going against what I believe in? And so
That's
there comes having to answer to a bigger voice at the end of my life. So that's how I figured those 2 out.
that's really good. Yeah, that question I was trying to think, but yeah, the two J's, right? The justice,
Yeah.
yeah, judgment are difficult. Oh, that's a fantastic way to look at it. That justice is kind of external and judgment is kind of internal.
Yeah, you have to take for justice, you have to take your own personal, feelings and biases aside and
Mhm.
make the best decision for the situation that's right in front of you. And then with, judgment, it's really about looking at your emotions and your feelings, and are you making decisions that benefit you and taking advantage of somebody else? Is it, really at your best interest to make this decision or not? I mean, So that's how I kinda got those finally, taken care
Oh,
of.
that's really good. That's really good. That's helpful. Hey, I learned something. Thank you.
So, how long did it take you to start feeling like, "You know what? I'm okay. I necessarily have to go to the guidebook anymore."
Yeah, quite a long time. But I will say after that first class with Ellen where it was really interactive and we had to draw cards, like she would talk about, we're gonna do the court cards today for wands and pentacles, or right. So after actually being able to discuss those cards and the meanings with somebody, that's when I felt like I really had it down. Now, I will say with new decks and decks that are kind of different than maybe the RWS traditional, like that aren't clones, I still really do read the guidebooks because I
Oh,
think,
yeah.
yeah, I can glean something from them. Sorry, we have an Air Force base nearby. There's a jet going over.
I don't live too far from the airport as well. I live in San Antonio, Texas, so
There you go. Um, so uh, I think that's how it's so, I was studying by myself for like a year. And then I think after I got, or 6 months, I'm not sure, I can't remember memory thing. Yeah, I don't have a great memory. Time in particular is troublesome for me. I'll think, oh, that was last week. And it was like, 6 months ago. Um, so I think that actually getting to discuss the cards with people, and then those tarot salons where I got to go and read with others, with a group of 4 or 5 other people, but there were 10 other groups of people right around, was really
that
cool.
is so nice.
It really was. Um so I think that's how I really felt like I could be off guidebook, and having a knowing, right, having a feeling of trusting my intuition too, that it's not, if I use the guidebook all the time, that reading is going to be really rote,
Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
if I use my intuition, okay, I have the meaning of the card. It's back there in my brain somewhere. I may not be able to say it right out loud immediately
Mhm.
as soon as the card comes up, but that's not the purpose of a reading. The purpose of the reading is to have that general idea of the card and then apply it to the querent's question,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Tell the story. So letting go of the guidebook was really empowering for me in that way.
Yeah, I still have to use the guidebook because I don't know it, but the cards that I do know, I do use my intuition a lot. For
Mhm.
one, I trust my intuition. I've always had a really strong intuition that I've generally listened to, and when I haven't, I've known you should have listened to the intuition, life experience. But also, I was a sign language interpreter for 13 years.
Cool.
And that language requires you, because they only have like 1,300 signs
Mhm.
compared to like 75, 80,000 English words. Big difference.
Right.
So I had to learn how to provide all that information from English to sign language, which required me to really think outside of the box in how to use language, um, and how to use the same sign for different things.
Cool.
Uh, and to think about that, what that means, it's like the word run. We have running water, you can run, you have a run in your pantyhose. So all these words for run, sign
Right.
language is the same thing for a particular sign. And so being able to like follow your intuition in how to present that information, I think has really helped in applying it to the tarot cards. For me.
What's that? That's very
Yeah.
cool.
So
Oh,
do you use oracle cards in conjunction with your
I use oracle cards a lot, and that's actually how I started. Tarot for me in the beginning was like, ooh, kind of scary, right? I had that
Mhm.
unfortunately that stereotype in my head, right? Of the tarot reader with the big scarf on her head and the long skirts and the big poop earrings, right?
Like a table, very
Yeah,
like Goldberg in that, in Ghost.
yeah, yeah, right. And oh, the devil card and the right. I'm over
Oh
that.
my
Yeah, I'm over that now. So I really started reading with, with oracle cards. And then when I figured that out, I'm like, oh, it's all the same kind of. I mean, tarot just has a system, and I was drawn to the system, right, of tarot.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
Um, So yeah, I have way too many decks right now, but that's okay. I love my collection. So
Me, I have decks that one of my goals this year is to purge some decks.
yeah,
I gave myself a window, but I'm gonna start slow. So
there you
we'll see what happens.
go.
But I
I just did a video on that too. So, I'm now at peace with the amount of decks. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead and
No,
finish.
you're fine. I find, and I say this a lot, is that I have been able to use oracle cards to develop my intuition even more in relation of how to read cards.
Yes,
So I think if you're struggling with intuition, oracle cards I think are a great way to develop it.
absolutely. And oracle cards with minimal keywords for
Yeah.
intuition.
I actually have decks that don't have any keywords at all.
Yes. The soul cards are fantastic for that. Boy, they can hit you in the gut.
You know, I've looked at that deck and I'm like,
It's a
this just loves those
I
decks.
know, and I don't use it a whole lot. I think it's the Rumi Oracle more because the art, I'm drawn to the art more. I'm sorry, my cat is being needy. She's yelling. She's yelling at me down here. If you're hearing meowing. Um, the Rumi Oracle, the art is just, I'm more drawn to that art. Do you know what I mean? That I am the soul card. I feel the soul cards is definitely a shadowy
Yeah.
deck, and I gotta be ready for what comes up with that one.
R Right now, I'm doing gosh, let me see. I don't wanna say the wrong name. I did a deck review of these. It's, Madonnas and Virgins, I think it's called.
Oh, neat.
And all of them are just images of the Virgin Mary statues that, this creator ended up, um, taking images from, cemeteries.
Oh,
So cemeteries, which I thought was fantastic. I don't know where it went, but it's such a stunning, stunning deck. And I did a walkthrough, so if anybody's interested,
yeah. I'm
uh, it's beautiful, beautiful. I just love them, and so I use those to add a spiritual lens to whatever reading sometimes. And so I really like them, and really it just kind of taps back to my childhood and what I grew up with, and really how it works with me today. Uh, so I also wanted to ask about your favorite decks, like decks that you really like are drawn to, that you really love.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, so many. And I it kind of changes as time goes on, right? So the decks I read with the most for other people, um, This Might Hurt Tarot is fantastic because it's kind of a modern, right,
It's
take.
not so scary to everybody.
Scary. It's a no fail reader, right? Um, The Night Wait has become a favorite recently. I've been really for personal reading, the Circle of Doors Tarot is fantastic.
I've looked at it and I'm like,
Yeah, I looked at it. I have it right here. I looked at it for a while, and I think it's because I'm a musician and because it was an installation in Burning Man, that maybe but like I love the Two of Nine. Whoop, there we go. Like the Two of
oh,
Nine has a
yeah.
keyword. It's a beautiful deck. It's huge. I think what I like about it is because the images are kind of superimposed. There's
Mhm.
layers to it that make it special, if that makes sense.
It does.
Um, oh, what else? What else? Um, the Pulp Tarot. That's a favorite.
The Pope Tarot?
You want Pulp? Pulp?
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Grab it if you need me to.
Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah. And oh, the Heartscape Tarot. I was so lucky to get that this year, but it came into print and then went out of print almost immediately again. And because they only did like 2000 or something, a run of 2000.
Yeah, it's amazing how like ducks come in and go, and then you're like, oh, it's never going to be printed, and then it comes up back again.
Right. No. So I love that one. But you're gonna laugh. For me, lately, the Tarot of the Witch's Garden has been an absolute favorite. I love the art. It's kind of like
Do you have it with you right now?
I do.
Can you show some
I
cards?
do. And
I
it's
think I know
like
which one it is, and I'm thinking,
No, and it always sits on my reading table, like a little shelf here. So here's the backs. It's a Llewellyn deck. It was their first,
Yeah, I think I know the deck.
yeah, their first linen cardstock deck. It's sorry if there's a glare,
Yeah,
but it's that's ooh,
yeah. I know I'm trying to do my shirt, and I made it wrong.
which way am I going? That's what the picture on the box
Yeah,
is.
I remember. I will tell you,
Yeah.
it's so this is my struggle, I bring it up a lot,
Mhm.
is that a lot of decks are very, um, feminine, uh,
Yes.
charged, like, really
Yes,
charged, and I feel that that's one of them.
it is.
So I do only yesterday did I realize I have a lot more masculine decks than I thought I had. But there like, sometimes there are these studies groups that people wanna do, but it's always a deck that isn't as balanced as I would like. I don't need a fully masculine deck, but if I could have one that was a little bit more balanced.
No, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so but I also I know that I'm thinking about 85, 90% of all tarot readers, tarot enthusiasts are women, you know?
And I think the divine feminine is a big thing right now,
Yeah.
right? You know, I've been called to, felt called in that regard, and I think that's why that deck resonates so much. A deck I really like that is a nice mixture is that night. Let's see, is that night? I'll figure it out. Night wait, right? I think the pictures are beautiful.
Oh, but I don't know this deck.
It's 17.99 on Amazon. It's gilded. The backs
Really?
are beautiful. Yes.
The Night Wake, NIT?
Yeah, so Knight, and then wait, her name is actually Night Wait. She married a person who's not,
Oh, okay.
but it's a writer, and then like Pixie is the high priestess. Um,
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna look into it.
yeah, W.E.B. Du Bois is he the emperor? I can't remember. Like so there are like actually real people who are part of the deck. So talk about personifying the cards, right? Not all of them, but some of them. But there's a really nice balance of that yin and yang, right? The really nice balance of the defined.
I do have several decks that are very, like, really strong and saturated with feminine energy that I really like,
Mhm.
uh, and I think are important, to be able to tap into that side of myself. But also when I read for women, and I do read for some women that, like, at work, 3 card spells. And they like those kinds of decks. So I get that that's part of my collection. But I like more balanced decks because really, and I don't need these really strong masculine, like,
Yeah,
decks.
yeah.
I have a few that I really like, but it's not necessary.
I will say that that is kind of a hole in my collection right now. Do you have any that you feel are kind of a divine masculine kind of deck or a more masculine deck? Because you're right. And if I am going to start reading more for the public, I'm going to need some decks that are more balanced. Right now, I just grab the Rider Waite Smith usually or the Night Waite, right? If I have a gentleman that I'm reading for, typically
Um,
I use that's kind of sci-fi-ish.
so,
Um,
well, one of them that I really do like that's mass market is the Morgan Greer.
oh yeah, I've got that one.
I That one I think is masculine. It has both men and women, but the men in there are very masculine to me.
With a
So
70s mustache.
also, the Somnia Tarot.
Oh, now see that one I haven't gotten yet because is that the one with their faces are all covered?
Yes.
Okay.
And then that I love that one. Pagan Otherworlds is another one that I think is pretty masculine.
Yes, that's on my list, and I don't know why I haven't gotten it yet. I need to step up and get it before it goes out of print. I love that deck, and I've just
Hard stock and the images are amazing. It's like it's almost pip-like, but you have enough of the images without the people that you can read with it. Um, let's see, what other ones do I have? Oh, I'm gonna tell you, if you can get this deck, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it for anybody. You can find them at a reasonable price. It's out of print, this particular one. But have you heard of the Neo Writer series?
I have not.
Okay, so you can find them on Etsy. They have like their Rider Waite Smith clone. So the images are exactly the same, but the coloring is all different.
Oh,
They
cool.
have some all gold, all pink. These I love. This is literally like I love the colors in these.
Oh, nice.
That they're stunning. And so the Rider-Waite-Smith, I think, is a very balanced deck with, male and female
Yeah,
energy. But these colors are amazing.
these are that blue is beautiful.
I just love them, and so, I think this is a really good one because it feels mo even though the images are very traditional,
Mhm.
because of the coloring, it feels very modern, so I think people for to today can relate to it.
Oh, very cool. The one that I have kinda like that is the Wiser Tarot. Um, it has, re total it's Pixie's drawings, Pamela Smith's Coleman Smith's drawings, but they've recolored them with a watercolor kind of
Oh,
feel.
I have one. What is it? The one that you said, what is it called?
Wiser Tarot, I'm trying to think. Oh, it's probably here, in my
I have
back.
one that's a watercolor as well that I absolutely like.
Right?
They're pastels, really, I think.
Whoops, as I dump everything over here. Um, oh, or maybe it's not in my reading basket. It usually is.
I
Um,
have it in the room
yeah.
about.
So yeah, I really love that one. It's oh, it's here. Here we go. Found it.
Oh, no, no, mine's different. Mine's
Yeah.
different.
Okay. So it's I think it's nicely balanced for the most part too. This one is usually the Rider-Waite-Smith clone that I use.
Oh, mhm.
No, but it is
I
softer.
do know that. I think one of the things that I didn't like was kind of like that, like the background, like the clouds in that one, it's
Yeah.
dark, like somebody like use like
Yeah.
stamp the colors around it. I didn't like that
No,
aesthetic,
I get it. It's kind of a
but
softer
I
feel.
like it better than the original right away. I can't stand the colors in the original.
Coloring in the original is rough, right? Like they're so bright or so just in your face and
Yes.
blockish. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Yeah, there's not a, yeah. I agree. I like the, is it the Radiant or the Smithwaite? The Smithwaite Tarot, the borderless Smithwaite Tarot, because it feels like those colors have been toned down just a little bit. And that one is nice to read
Yep.
with. It's not so in your face.
Yeah, I have one that looks like watercolor. It is so beautiful to look at. It's in the other room, otherwise I'd get it.
No, that's okay. I've
Now,
got a,
any that made you go, "Oh, no, I hate this. I can't believe I bought this. This is horrible. I don't want it."
so you're gonna laugh. Early on in my reading uh experience, I bought the Marielle because I saw everybody so excited about the Marielle,
Yeah.
and it scared me,
Did it?
frightened me, and I think it was because I was so new to reading and I didn't understand the art and there was so much in it, right?
Mhm.
Rehomed it and I wish I had it now. I'm really, really sad. I
The
need to
I've only had one. I think it's called Phantom or something. It had, like, neon coloring, and I opened the box, and I had such a visceral reaction. I threw the cards on the desk.
Oh,
It was a really horrible feeling, and I grabbed they were like it was like, I it was just such an ugly, negative feeling. It
oh,
took everything I had just to grab them, put them in a box, put it in the container they shipped through, and I threw them in the back of my shelf. I have little shelves in the bottom. Threw it in the back and forgot about it.
wow.
Nothing to do with it. I just couldn't bear to even look at it. And so then a friend of mine contacted me. Let me rephrase that. A former coworker of mine contacted me because she wanted to know about tarot because she wanted to get into it. So I said, "Oh," so we talked, and I remember I had that deck, and I said, "I'll give it to her," you
Oh,
know, and I gave her the deck. She thought it was the most beautiful thing she'd ever seen,
cool.
full of books, and so I'm like, "Yes," it went to, somebody who could appreciate it. But that's the only one that I'm like, I had such a reaction. I have a few decks, and I'm like, "Why did I buy this?"
Yeah, I think we all have that. Yeah. So for me, the Somnia Tarot, I feel that a little bit like that because there's no faces.
Yeah.
If there isn't a face, I very much look at the faces and the facial expressions on the characters in the card. And so that one,
Are you talking about? Because there's 2, there's the illustrated one and there's the photographic one.
photographic one, yeah.
Yeah, that one is intense because 'cause I'm
It,
like,
yeah.
how can he breathe under that? Oh,
Yeah, no, that's how I feel suffocated when I look
yeah,
at those cards.
but I love it.
exactly how I feel. I haven't seen much about the illustrated yet, but I know that the photographic one is just not for me.
He has one of my I'd say his full card is probably my top 2.
Oh, cool.
That full card with that guy jumping out of the window tied to the chair with the rope,
Oh,
I
wow.
immediately can just imagine this guy, I feel like for me, he's like been taken hostage. He's needing to get out right away. He's like on the second or third story. That's why he has that thing, is
Yeah.
in the chair, and he has nowhere he's at, and he's just going to take a leap of faith and go for it.
Wow.
And so I just can see this whole storyline with him.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I'm gonna have to check out the illustrated version. Maybe I would have
A
less
lot of people like the illustrated a lot better.
cool.
Do you have any unicorn decks that you've been able to get?
Oh, I think probably the Heartscape Tarot is the one that because I kept looking at it and hoping for it, and it was out of print for so long, and then I got that one. But honestly, right now, I so the is it um the Walking Path Tarot, like the first edition, has gone through the roof. It's like $1,500 or something, and I know, right? I'm like, no. um, I didn't get that one. That's on my list. But the Hardscape was probably the one that I would really love. And I got. I'm not as up on searching as I used to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess the La Tarot de Femme Erotique that's out of print, and some of the prices for that are insane. Um, and I found that one for a reasonable price. I was excited about that. So the
Somebody
cards,
just
but
somebody just recently put in the Prague for $150, and I
mm,
regret not getting it.
oh,
And the reason I didn't get it is because they got the new one coming out.
right.
Pre-orders are coming out this month or next month.
Oh, cool. Good to know.
Did you are you have you signed up for their newsletter?
I haven't yet. I need to do that.
You need to do that
Yes,
because
I do.
they're only gonna have like 1,000 for each deck. They're redoing the Victorian, romantic Victorian. They're doing that one again, and the Prague one.
Nice.
They're doing that one again. I suspect that those won't ever get reprinted because they're going out of the tarot business.
Mm,
I just wrote Kathy from Baba Studios, and she responded and asking about the Alice Tarot, and she said uh, they're going to do it in 2025.
oh, cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
cool.
website says 2023, but she confirmed 2025. And I
Might be on Baba Studios because I have their Bohemian.
Gothic.
So it's not a tarot. It's the Bohemian Gypsy cards or something.
Oh yeah, do you like those?
So, I got them because I'm Bohemian, right? So it's like,
Oh, okay, okay.
and I read Lenormand too, and it's a similar system. I think that the gold foiling or the cold stamping on them is beautiful. They're no BS readers, let me tell you what. They slap you in the face twice. So I have to be really in the mood.
I
And
almost thought of getting them because they're Baba Studios, but I'm
yeah,
like, I use them. The cat, the Bohemian cat, I think it's called,
yeah,
theater cat or something. I'm not a cat person. Well, that's not true. I like cats, but like,
but index, yeah,
it blows my mind
yeah,
that cat tarot decks are so popular. Like, in America, dogs is man's best friend, but there are not many, dog decks. But I go to Kickstarter and there's a cat tarot deck, and it's already funded in like 3 hours. It's like,
right. I
but
have
I'm thinking about getting that one just because to go with my collection.
right. No, I would really like that one actually. That's another one I would absolutely get. I have a few cat decks that I really like, and I have my Tilly's sitting down here meowing at me. Sorry. So I actually enjoy some of the cat decks. Some of them are kitschy, but that's
Mhm.
the fun of it, right? Um,
They have a few cat decks that I like. I found one dog deck that I like, but I didn't buy it because it's just not my thing. Even though I
yeah.
have 2 dogs. Um,
Uh,
I Now with the Baba Studios, I would like the only thing I'm going to be the only things that I'm missing that I want is the Alice Tarot and the Tarot Prague. If I can get those 2,
Yeah,
then
the
I'm
tarot
really satisfied.
amazing. Yeah.
The Fairy Tale Tarot, I would like it just because it would be part of the collection, uh,
Yes.
but I probably would never use it, so, yeah, but the if I can get
It should be expensive. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's not reprint that one. They are not gonna reprint that one.
Yeah, probably not. Tilly, stop. Sorry, she's making noise. Um,
Now, do you have but I have a list of unicorn decks, and I've gotten over half of them, which is surprising. So
that's so
that's just the 2 that you have that you want?
those are just the 2 that I have, and, I kinda stopped looking and searching. The one I would really love a vintage Morgan Greer or a vintage, blue box deck. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are definitely on my list, but, the other day when I was in this reading shop, she pulled out a first edition Morgan Greer, that a woman who had passed on had passed a lot of her decks to her, and it was missing like 4 or 5 cards, and she's like, "I'm still never gonna part with it," because it felt like leather, the edges felt like leather, right? Because they were so worn and so you could feel her energy on it, it was just neat, but it was missing a lot of cards,
And
and
what's you just figure out a replacement somehow.
exactly, exactly.
And if
So
it's a black card.
right? Exactly. So, but yeah, those are kinda on my list. I would love to get an original printing of the Aquarian just because I feel like the, printings now are so washed out and bad.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah, I got a modern one and I'm like, "Whoa, this doesn't even look like" no. Like, this is, like, dipped in water and shaken out and like where's the coloring? Yeah. So that would be on my list. The Prague is on my list.
Oh
Uh,
my god, isn't that's such a beautiful
it is.
I'm so shocked that they're actually gonna do a printing of the
I'm excited to hear that
I
because
w when I heard that, I was like, "What?" And
right?
they said the did you see they're posting it was on Facebook and Instagram. They were asking, uh, would you that they had extra stock left over from the Bohemian Gothic, and you had to vote either between the Victorian or the Prague deck, and people were voting. Prague won by a landslide, and I was surprised with how many people wanted the Victorian. Like, did that many people really miss it?
Yeah, it just finished, didn't it? Like it was just
Yeah,
out.
and so they're
Yeah,
gonna reprint it, and I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, let me tell. I don't know why I get stressed out. I get stressed out over little things like that. That like, what is the really big deal if you don't get the Prague? But
yeah.
I was like, people need to vote for the Prague.
No, I get it. I mean, we all have our own aesthetic, right? And the Victorian is beautiful, but I feel like there are a lot of other decks like it. Do you know
Yeah,
that could fill that?
Prague is so very unique.
The Prague is very unique.
Yeah,
Exactly. So, no, that would be on my wish list. And you were talking about memory. I'm sure there are a bajillion others that I just can't recall at the moment.
do you journal at all?
I just started journaling more, and I'm finding it very helpful. Yeah. Do you journal?
I just did a video on journal supplies that I bought because I tried journaling once to do the elements and
Mhm.
it was hideous. And so I didn't do it anymore. But this year I'm going to do journaling. So I bought highlighters and pens and 2 beautiful journals. And I'm just gonna try and I'm gonna see how I can make it. I want a beautiful journal, like Don Michelle. I want a beautiful
Oh
journal.
my gosh, wouldn't that be nice? I wish
Yeah.
I could do something like her. Or I don't know if you watched Danny Mystics walk through her grimoire.
Yes. No, I haven't seen that one yet. I saw the
Good.
post.
Wow, I wish I had that talent, right? I'm not particularly artistic.
Me either.
So
Me
yeah, I find that if I say I'm going to do a journal on this topic and this is what I'm going to do, then my brain says, no, you're not. And I resist.
well, I'm doing a study journal
Hmm.
where I'll have all the elements, the numbers, and then a page for every card. So that's like a study journal. Then I have a spread journal that I'm gonna do. Um, did you see Lisa Papez's video where she took all the cards and put them in envelopes?
You did. That was cool.
So I did
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna do a journal for that,
Oh, fun.
and also, like, I've started doing this thing where I started in December where, I took December is my spiritual month when it comes to tarot cards and really focusing on spirituality. I do that every year, even before tarot, it's my spirituality month, and
Cool.
so I wanted to do something different, and so I'm like, I don't know how I came up with the idea, but what I did is I have several spiritual leaders that inspire me,
Mhm.
like the Buddha, Mother Teresa, the Dalai Lama, Gandhi. And so what I did is I searched and found quotes of theirs that I
Oh,
really liked, and then I made a spread based on that quote.
how cool is
Yeah,
that?
and so I just really enjoy that. It's and so I get to focus on a spiritual message and then be creative in coming up with a spread for it.
Nice. Oh, I like it. That's an excellent idea.
So I'm going to journal that. In fact, I think that was kind of influenced by Dawn because Dawn does that with books.
Mhm.
She'll look at the chapters and then come up with a spread, or she'll read a paragraph. So I'm sure back here at work, because I just dawned on me right now that, oh, maybe that's where it came from. Um, but yeah, it's a quote from spiritual leaders.
That's really cool. I like it. Oh, what
And
a beautiful read I bet you get beautiful readings from that too.
yes, yes, I do. And then I use like I have the Mother Teresa, the Mysteries of the Black Madonna, Mysteries of Mary. I have this new deck. So I have some decks that I can use. I have um Princess Priestess Light and some other decks that work really well.
Yeah.
They're kind of energy.
Cool. I have the Mother Mary Pocket Oracle that I
I
use.
saw that you did a comparison of the larger one and the smaller
I
one.
really, really like this. I really like it. Yeah. It's a nice daily draw to kind of start.
You cracked me up so much in that video. Did you see my message? I was like, I don't have time for 4 pages. And I just literally bursted out laughing because I'm like, oh yeah, I can relate to that. Because the Mysteries of Mary, it's also very long.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah,
is.
but
It
that was
is.
funny.
And some of them I'm like the Rumi one, I enjoy that length, right? And there's a poem in there and everything, but that one I just get frustrated with. I don't know what it is. I need this smaller message.
Oracle Poises.
Do I have I don't that's on my list.
It is so good, and every card has a poem.
Oh,
Every card, it's not just a little what it's a poem. It's
oh, cool.
it is right now my favorite. It's my favorite deck, and there's so many cards. It's crazy.
Oh, cool.
It's very
That's
well worth the price.
Yeah, I've been really that one is like I said really on my list. I like to do a little creative writing and sometimes I can use cards to kind of get a story or a poem started. Do you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
a fun way to just play with cards if you don't
Right
want to.
now, the second edition is out. I have the first, the second edition. The card stock is like so much better, but I
Oh,
like the first edition. The card.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to snag that one. Yes.
And then, um, what inspired you to start your YouTube channel? You said that it was trying to build community, but
Yeah.
did anything outside of that, like
So I think it was also perhaps the little bit of rebellion in me.
yeah,
So at my job, I usually have pink hair. At my job, I'm not allowed to have pink hair, right? Yeah, um, so I'm feeling very like ready to push boundaries, I guess, in a lot of ways. And this was a way for me to be my authentic self, where I feel there's places in my life right now where I can't really do that,
I can't
especially at my job.
absolutely. See, and the thing with, you were talking about the stigma of tarot still and kinda being in the closet. I didn't have that issue. One of the benefits, at least for me, growing up as a young gay man and being oppressed and discriminated against, I had a major event happen in my early 20s
Mm,
that finally broke that door down in a way that I refuse to not be who I am.
and that's
Uh, yeah, and so, like, everybody I mean, I'm not sitting there with a pride flag walking into a job interview, but, I'm gonna be who I am, and if you don't want me
Right.
because I'm here, then I don't wanna work here,
Right,
you know?
and that's where I've come, right?
Yeah,
I've come to that, so yeah, I'm searching. But
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I need to be I've decided it took me, 50 something years, but I've decided it's time for me to be my authentic self and that
and so tarot, it's just I talk to my friends, I talk to coworkers about it. I don't feel that stigma, and I think it's because I've come so far, and probably the biggest stigma I've personally experienced. So this wasn't for me a big deal, but I do know it's a big deal for a lot of other people, especially people that grew up in a very religious home.
yes. Yes, exactly, and that's kind of where I came from, so I know my dad would freak out, right? So, but my kiddos know, and, my son buys me a deck every year for
Oh,
Christmas.
that's sweet.
That's sweet,
It's
and
nice to support like that.
yeah, it is, and for a while even and this is kind of embarrassing to say, but for a while, I was, like, hiding all my tarot decks when people come over, right?
Mm,
Like, I was afraid to have people over, and I don't know where that fear comes from, I guess fear of being rejected and fear of
yeah,
putting out your authentic self and feeling
yep.
rejected. And, my husband bought me built me some shelves now for my little closet area, but I'm like, "Forget about that." I was gonna say another word.
Yeah.
Can I say that other word? Fuck that. Right? I'm
Yeah, well, no, it has a real clear meaning.
it does. You know, this is me, and if someone doesn't like it, well, then they don't have to like it.
Yeah. Like, mine are displayed right behind me. Some people tend to be more curious than anything else.
And I think that's probably gonna be the case. You know what I mean? I think you think of this whole thing in your head and I'm like, why is it a big deal? It's not. And if I want to expand this into something else, then it's not. So I think my YouTube channel and even my Etsy shop and even reaching out to read in places is my way of pushing out my own authentic self and is a way of showing
Yeah,
the world that being intuitive is okay.
yeah,
It's something that you should be scared of because it's part of everybody's lives. Everyone has some kind of intuition, right?
yeah.
And using a tool to embrace that intuition or to use that intuition in service to others is not a bad thing.
Now, from the time you started thinking, I wanna start a YouTube channel," to actually doing your first video, how long was that, and what was the tipping point that made you do it?
So it wasn't very long at all because I was like,
Okay.
if I'm gonna do it, I better just do it or I'm gonna overthink it.
Same thing. Like, I had a thought, I'm on Amazon, purchase, purchase,
Yeah.
purchase.
Yes. And I got so because I'm a musician, I have a mic stand, I have a microphone, but I've actually been just using my phone on a boom arm on a mic stand with a ring light, right? So the little
Is that the camera you're using now? Your phone?
this is a my MacBook camera. So yeah, but my phone camera is what I use for all my videos right now. I would like to get a webcam. I just need to figure out like the whole tabletop thing. I'm like, how does that work with, you know what I mean? Like,
I just did I will send you there is a all-in it's called an all-in-one. I'll put the link below,
oh,
but
thank you.
it's called an all-in-one, stand, and that's what I have.
Okay.
It's a bar
Mhm.
with a clamp at the bottom, you put it on your desk, and you turn the bottom, and it closes, and
Mhm.
it has 4 arms. There's a light arm, a camera arm, a microphone arm, and a computer arm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I only use the light and the camera, one, and
Okay.
then I bought an arm and a new microphone because
Cool.
and I got a wireless microphone, which has made a huge difference.
Yeah. I just ordered a lapel microphone, a Bluetooth lapel microphone because I've
So,
noticed
yeah,
changes in volume and I don't like it. So yeah.
but it's only like $130, but it has everything you need, and it stays in one place,
Yeah.
and so, for me, it was just perfect. So,
No, that's super helpful because I've been searching YouTube a lot. Well, how do you do the crafting or top-down videos, right? Like the tabletop. How
yeah,
do you do
this has an arm that you pull towards yourself, and then it has a knob that you unscrew, and then the camera, you just flip it down.
Okay.
Yep. And then when you're done, you just flip it back, and so that's how I do mine. When I say, "Let me flip the camera over," that's what I'm doing. I'm just flipping.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
mine gets shaky and then I try to zoom and then the whole it's bad. So I'm trying to learn a few new ways. And I need to invest in a camera eventually as well.
There's some really good videos on YouTube, like, cameras for YouTube beginners,
Mhm.
budget-friendly YouTube cameras, and you'll
That's
get a whole bunch. I have the Sony VZ1, and it's worked perfectly for me, no issues whatsoever. It's considered one of the top 2, what I think it's probably considered the best for its price range. It's like $600, um, YouTube, cameras.
cool. And does it just like screw oops? Are you still there?
I did that. I did that.
I was like,
I was like,
I'm like,
"Oh,
uh-oh, did I
no." I'm like,
no,
"No,
you're good. You're
I."
good. Yeah, mine little thing, it's right here. It'll come into it's just like a little phone holder thing. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, and but
Yeah.
it's finicky, you know. And I like I said, I'm
I have a
I get
I have an outstanding, um, uh, desk arm, and
nice.
I think it's reasonably I got it during day after Christmas, I don't know, Black Friday?
Yeah.
$60, it's normally $100, but I love it, it's perfect for me and for what I need. Um, and how how did you, how did you like your first video?
Yeah, I just kind of did it and figured out how to even upload a video on YouTube because I hadn't done that before, right? It's a big learning curve.
In itself, right?
Hey, it's definitely a first video.
Let me tell you, it's much better than my first video. Have you
Really?
seen my first
I
video?
can't remember which one was my what did I do for my first video? I don't even remember now. It's not,
I think it was Halloween decks?
oh, maybe it was yeah.
I think it was Halloween decks, and I was like, "Wow," right off the bat, decks. I did a whole intro and, like, "This is what my channel's about, and this is why," you know, and then I look at the video quality, and it just was horrible.
Uh,
I've been looking at myself going, "I am so shiny, and why am I so red? Am I this tan?" And then I look at you, I'm like, "Her skin is perfect, the lighting's
you are so kind. My skin is not perfect, but it's just really good filtered cloudy daylight lighting. That's all that is.
lighting." Now, what do you think keeps you interested in wanting to learn more and wanting to learn more?
I think it goes back to that authenticity again, right? I feel like I finally okay, so I'm gonna get woo here. Is that okay?
Okay.
Get woo.
Yep.
Okay. So part of the reason I started tarot is I had some weird experiences where I had some things like happen that I didn't understand. I don't know how else to say it. Like
Mm,
some clairsentient or clairaudient or like right that concerned me, and I didn't want to be scared of that. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, and I think this has been my whole life. I've had these intuitive hits my whole life, but I suppress them because in, like you said, in a religious
Yeah.
household, it's not something that's okay. Um, my mom, though, is the same. She knows who's calling before, even before caller ID, she'd pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Jennifer, what's wrong?" Like if something was wrong, like sh- she's, and my dad is constantly freaked out by her intuitive nature, right? So, anyway, um, I kept suppressing and I kept suppressing, and I'm like, no, I just need to face this so that I'm not afraid because I don't, this isn't something to be fearful of. These things that are happening to me or these knowings or whatever you want to call it, if I don't embrace it, it's just going to make me scared, right?
I have something similar, it's different. It's like I can walk into the room and I immediately know if it's a safe place, if it's not
Yeah.
a safe place. I can talk to the most charming person in the world, and I'm like, "No,
No, there's something off.
I gotta get away from you." I have these things, or I'll be leaving my home, and I'm like, "God, I should really stay home today."
Yeah.
And then I get into a car wreck.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
get that. I did have Lisa, I was in my when I was doing my chat with Lisa, I talked about one of the readings that I did, and I had a really jarring reading where I pulled the cards out and I visually felt like I was standing over my friend who I was reading for
Oh,
on
wow.
on her deathbed.
Oh, wow.
And she was very peaceful, she was very happy, but I was there. Like the world I was in was gone and I was there. And then it kind of went away and I was very present. And all of a sudden, I could see the cards very clearly and what it meant for her. And so I told her, this is what just happened. This is what the cards are telling me. And this is a kind of reading that you want to keep in mind with major life events as you move forward, because this is what's going to get you to a place where you will have a peaceful death.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was really, God, that's really heavy. And in my brain, I'm wanting to filter and not tell her all that, but then I'm also remembering that's not the purpose of this. If I
Right.
filter, then I'm not really doing a reading. And
Yeah.
so I've had that's the only one I've had so far. I am nervous to see if that happens again, and
Right.
but if it happened once, I suspect it will happen again. But I
Yeah.
haven't read a lot of people, so
Yeah. You know, this is so validating, right? Because this is the part of tarot that a lot of people don't really talk about.
mhm,
I think is those intuitive hits. Yeah, I had a kind of similar experience. I woke up um, in the middle of the night weeping, and the words, my son, my son, my son, in my head. And I was terrified that there was something wrong with my kid, right? Um, I was channeling the mother's grief of a son who had OD'd the night before for
mm,
someone I knew. I didn't know they had OD'd. I didn't know they died until I left the next day and found out, right? That was the scariest one, right?
yeah,
Where I'm like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute. How did I know this? And then, a little while later, I was in a band. The band, as they do, break up, right? Like things happen. And I had this hit, like, tell him not to sell all his instruments. And I didn't. And 2
mm,
days later, I found out he'd cleared his whole studio and sold all his instruments. Like these little weird knowings that I can't explain how I know, right?
yeah,
Like,
it feels like so I've had some that feel like deja vu, but they're not.
yes,
I'm
yes,
like, because I know what deja vu feels like, and generally, deja vu, really, I find very unsettling. It
yeah,
scares me. I
yes,
feel like something's gonna bad happen, but then I have these experiences that are similar, but I don't have that foreboding feeling. It's
yes,
more like a, "This is going to happen," or "This is
right,
I knew that this was gonna happen." I
right,
mean, it's very
right.
different.
Oh, and yeah, my family would call me the human radar detector. Like I always, this doesn't happen as often as it used to, but I would always have this, even if I was just reading in the car, I'd be like, honey, slow down, there's a cop ahead, and I'll be darned if around the next corner there was a police officer, with his radar. So weird knowings, right? I don't know how I know them. I'm grateful that I do. Um, but I'm using tarot to kind of help focus that so that it doesn't scare me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Um,
th 3 questions, related to other YouTubers. Who's
yes,
your favorite that you go just for fun? Who do you go to, like, "I need to learn something. I wanna, like, learn this one thing, and I know they have it." And which is a YouTuber that kind of, introduces you to new things, that you didn't expect or, like, new decks, new ideas.
yes. My gosh, now I'm gonna have to look at my phone. So Lisa Pepez is my go-to, right?
Yes, me too, me too.
She's the one that I go to all the time. And like you were saying, memory, my memory is so bad. I love Dawn Michelle to learn new things, and she has some really interesting decks. I really like to learn something kind of deep. Is it modern metaphysicae?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Is that Dustin?
Justin, I really enjoy him. He's very esoteric and academic, right?
I got introduced with him with Three Fat Readers.
Yes, Three Fat Readers is a favorite.
Yeah, I got introduced to them with him there.
Yes, and I think for the fun, I have a couple. Um, it's Krista Chronicles now. It used to be,
Yes.
yes,
Um,
yes,
I
Kirsty.
really like her.
I just love her. She's wonderful. And Kelly Bear is also a lot of
You know,
fun.
I've just started getting into Kelly Bear's videos. My go-to just for fun is Lisa Papez.
Yes.
My student likes to go to Kelly. And then Krista kind of falls into, she introduces me to all this stuff. She has a kind of a quirky personality.
Yes.
I will tell you, for me, she by far, for me, has the most broad
Yes.
uh, style of decks that she incorporates into her collection. Like she'll pull out a deck, and I'm like, really?
Where'd that come?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So
sweet.
yeah, she has that for me.
Yes, and her enthusiasm is
Yes,
contagious.
yes,
Yes.
very much so.
Yes. Yeah, there are a few that I really like. Tea and Tarot is a fun one.
Oh, I
Lisa,
did an interview with her.
oh, cool. And then who else? I think for now that's probably um the most. Um oh, Owl Moon 513, Racine Artist. Is that her name? Um
Is this the one that dresses all in black with black
yeah, she's got black
beautiful?
a lipstick, yeah. I
Yeah.
find her fascinating, and I find her decks fascinating, and because I'm so drawn to the divine feminine lately, that's what she kind of has been, focusing on a lot lately, um, and she's actually the one who gave me a reading with this deck, and then I had to have it because it was an actually profound reading. She's a very gifted reader.
Yeah,
I try.
I've never had a reading paid. I've never paid for a reading.
Really?
Yeah, I've had, uh, oh my gosh, okay. I I would say she's in my top 3. Fairlight Tarot,
Oh, yeah.
love her. Her
Yes.
her content is amazing. I love how she presents it. I love her thumbnails. She's amazing.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Yes.
She did a Wheel of the Year reading for me. I'm part of her mem
Cool.
She has a membership.
Oh, cool.
And so she does a reading like every other week for us. So
Nice.
and then she records it and sends it to you privately.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. She's really nice. She's super
I'm
nice.
I've seen her, but I'm subscribing as we speak because I don't forget. Yeah.
She's really, really good. Um, so what does your daily practice look like?
You know, it's different every day, right? It depends on how much time I have.
Yeah.
I would really love to be the type of person who gets up every morning and draws a card and has time to journal and all that. Your girl is not a morning person.
I
So,
feel you. I feel you.
and I have to leave my house by about 6:40 to in order to get to work on time. So mornings are a struggle.
I've
Um,
had enough surgeries in my life to be able to make the comparison that coming out of surgery from anesthesia for me is a daily event to wake up and get
yes.
it. It is really difficult for me.
Yes, I'm the same. And I hate a jarring alarm, right? Like that makes it harder. I actually just got a sunrise alarm. I have to try it. I'm gonna give that a try tomorrow, see if that helps instead of the
I actually dated a deaf man before, and that's what they use to wake up.
yeah,
So I was like, God, that is so serene, waking up with a light.
right? And I'm kind of thinking that might help. But so for the most part, it's when I get home from work if I have time or on the weekends. But I try to do a daily draw every day or a 3-card spread. It just kind of happens how I decide. decide in the moment. I don't necessarily sit down and say, "Oh, I'm going to do this spread," unless I'm really working with something that I want to
Yeah.
dig into.
I
Um,
do mine in the mornings as well. I have to do mine in the morning because it sets up my day,
yeah.
and then I take a picture of it. I put it on Instagram. I write a synopsis of the reading that I had for myself, and then I'll, like, refer once or twice in the day at my picture to kind of remember the reading.
Mhm. No, I would love to be able to do that. I think this summer when I have a little less get up really early at the crack of dawn and or before dawn and you know what I mean and drive into work, I'll probably be um able to do some more morning readings. So what I tend to do then is at the end of the day or in the evening, I'll draw and say, what was the energy of my day and how can I reflect on my day? Sometimes I do it that way, or sometimes
Yeah,
I'll be like, hey, what do I need to know about tomorrow? I do like to play with decks because I have a lot of decks and I feel like I want to use them like, oh, all right now, right? Sometimes I'll pull 3 or 4 or even 5 decks out and, lay a pile of cards and lay a pile of cards and lay a pile of cards and read all 9 cards together as a spread,
yeah.
like a spread with 9.
I'd say from 6 months to 12 months that I was doing it, I would rotate my decks
Mhm.
every 3 days because I
Yeah.
wanted to use them all.
Mm.
And then in reflection, when I did my August, year anniversary was this past August, I kind of realized that I really needed to focus on one deck, and
Mhm.
so then I picked the Terra Volatile, which I'm like, maybe I should pick another one.
Cool deck. That's one that I want too.
The is amazing.
I've heard. That's what I've
It's
heard.
like super amazing.
Yeah.
And so right now I'm just pulling the three card. I have three cards that I don't know where I got this from, but I got it from somebody. I kind of modified it a little bit. So I do an oracle card in the middle.
Hmm.
That's the theme of the day, or what I need to focus on for the day. The left tarot card is the card, what can block me from accomplishing this goal.
Ooh.
And the right card is what can I use to accomplish the goal.
Oh, cool.
Keeps me like, what's the theme or the goal of the day? What can get in the way, and what can I use to make sure I accomplish my goal?
That's
And
a
so,
beautiful reading.
yeah, so that I love that one. That one tends to work for me.
Cool. I'll give that one a try. I play with spreads a lot. I have like it's a spread oracle, like, and you can pull just some cards and then, so I tend to right now not be as focused as I want to be. Do you know what I mean? When I'm reading for someone else, I'm very focused. And I think this is maybe true for a lot of readers. It's harder for me to read for myself than it is to read for others.
Yeah,
Um,
I tend to skew. I'm a very optimistic, positive person, especially when it's going great and life is great. I either read very positively, or I read in the sense of you need to be very mindful because, you need to
yeah,
be mindful today. I get like a tap on the hand.
yeah,
Hey, today's gonna be one of those days. You wanna make sure that you careful what you say, what you do,
yes,
decisions you make, that kind of stuff. I don't get any kind of foreboding, "Today's gonna be a bad day no matter what you do."
yeah.
Nothing like that.
No, I'm kind of that way too. I agree. I tend to be a very positive person. So yeah, when that tower card comes out, I'm like, well, shoot.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I don't see the tower card as a negative thing, because sometimes a shakeup needs to happen
Absolutely.
or something to
Absolutely.
grow from it, you know? Sometimes it, releases a blockage that
No,
allows
that's a really good way
freedom.
to look at it.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, you're free. But yeah, I don't tend to read that way when it comes to other people. It's much more, I don't know, it's just very different, when I read for other people. It feels different.
It does feel different. And I would say mine is the opposite. Like I'll get the tower in a daily reading and I'll be like, crap. Right. But if I'm reading for someone else, and the tower card comes up, I read it more like, okay, there's a foundation that's shaky here. It's going to come down unless you take it down yourself first. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
make, like be mindful and make decisions that are good for you that aren't on shaky foundation. It's not like, oh, something, you know what I mean? So I think I get in my head a little more with reading for myself than I do reading for others. So that's something I'd like to work on. And I think through journaling and really finding some a daily practice that I'm more consistent with will help with that.
Okay. So what are your goals for the like general goals for your YouTube channel? What have you been thinking about what kind of content you want to do or things you want to improve on? Anything particular towards your channel that you're thinking about doing?
Yeah, I think I wanna plan it out a little more. So one of my goals, I just scheduled a few videos for the first time this week, and it was life-changing, right? It's not like the, "Oh, I have to record," and, "Oh, I'm editing until, midnight," and, "Oh, I need to get it uploaded, and why is it taking so long," right? Just because I'm kind of new to the whole YouTube recording
Yeah,
thing, yeah. I think that's probably a common experience. So I want to be more thoughtful and more planned. I tend to get an idea and then I'm going to do it. Right. So I want to keep a journal and really write down my YouTube ideas for what I want to.
I have that. I actually have a journal that I do that. I came up with a series called I did hashtag Saturday, so that's
I
but
love that.
I do uh 5 decks saved from. So I did like 5 decks
Yes,
saved from a fire, 5 oracle decks from a flood. So I have like 6 or 7 of those that I want to do. 5 decks saved from, and then whatever. So I got
very.
one up. Um, and then for me, it's just really learning how to use Final Cut Pro and stuff.
Yeah.
But have you ever thinking about coming up with like a series of your own, like something that you would do repeatedly that's like yours?
Yeah, I've been really kind of mulling that through and what do I want to do? I do really enjoy VRs to other people, but yeah, I'd like to maybe start some VRs of my own. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm kind of mulling that over and trying to decide where I want to go with that. Um, so yeah, that's something that I've been thinking hard about, and I'm not sure what um where I'm gonna go with that yet. Do you know what I mean? Because I've been so, I want to do this, and ooh, this deck would be fun, and oh, I've done
I would
comparison things lately, but
I would recommend that any idea that comes up, no matter how silly it is, write it down.
yes, no,
Just
because
write them all down, write them all down. Yeah. When you look at them and you'll be like, "Oh," an epiphany will happen and
yes,
create something. Like my hashtags Saturdays just came about because I like doing the hashtags, and there are all these old ones that are new to me.
yes,
And so I'm
exactly.
like, "I could do those." And so, like, and it's just for some reason, I just decided, I'm gonna do one once a week, a new one, an old one that I create. And so that's how hashtag Saturdays came about.
Oh, very
It's one
cool.
thing that I do.
Yeah, no, I love that. I'd love to do a live and a chat once in a while.
I
Um,
think that's great that this is a thing that I came up with because I see y'all and I want to know more than your hands and your voice.
right?
Yeah, so that's why I'm doing this, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying meeting all of y'all. It's been fun.
Enjoying meeting you. This has been great. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm just, yeah, I the community building thing is important to me. Um,
Mm. Well, it's been really nice. But before I let you go, do you have any questions that you want to ask me? Like
uh,
really, I'm in bug because I've been asking a lot of questions.
yeah, no, let's see. I want to know what your unicorn deck is that you've really been looking for.
Okay, well, I am actually going to tell you because I'm posting a video this Monday, but this our video won't be posted till Wednesday. So I already told you what it is. Oh my God, I'm so excited about this deck. I really am super excited about it. It's the spoiler. I just can't believe I got it. It is such a beautiful deck. It's more beautiful in person than I thought it could be. It's just lovely. And I'm so grateful for the woman who sold it to me because she could have made a ton of money on this. And she just really wanted me to have it because she's seen not only that I talked about it a lot.
Oh,
But that is the unicorn deck that, I
nice.
wanted. Now, the ones that I still have a few. I'd say my number 1, let me see, I have a list that I post on Lisa Puffes's page, is, there's one that there's a few. Like, I really would like, Buddha Doodle's deck of cards. That was so Lisa showed it. I really and being a Buddhist
Yeah.
slash
Oh,
Christian,
that's so cool.
and then there's an oracle card called Divine Feminine and Masculine Reunited Oracle Deck. It's a long one. Out of print, wrote them. They don't have anything. I've
Um,
never seen it come up, so I doubt it. The Divine Muse Oracle, the Magic Child Oracle, she won't print those for a couple more years. But yeah, but really, all my really big ones are either gonna come out, be printed, or I already gotten them.
that's so cool.
Yeah, I've been very lucky.
That's I don't know if it's luck. I think, like I said, it's the universe saying that
Mhm.
this is something that you really want and that you deserve to have. And
Yeah, I'm gonna do
that's
a video on unicorn decks that, I've been able to get.
so cool. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
very
And then
excited.
how do you learn best when you're learning about tarot?
Uh, I think there's several ways, but learning best for me is really by doing.
Mhm,
Like, really doing it, it seems to really be ingrained. I think the second way is by watching, um, YouTubers go through decks and talk about them, um, and it's like when Kelly, for me, does it the best, and Lisa's a really close second, is they pull out a card and they'll talk about the card.
mhm,
And I can all of a sudden, as they talk about the card, I can see the basic meaning, but then they talk about it where I can see a bigger picture of it. There went the other light. I could see the bigger picture of it, and so that helps a lot as well. And then
cool.
when people actually do readings like Madam Adam.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking as we were talking, if you like Madam Adam, you might like the follow, is it Cult Mother
Cult?
Tarot? Cult Mother Tarot. She's Irish, I believe. Um, and she's on Instagram. I don't think she's on YouTube, but she does those same kind of no BS readings, and it's a one card reading, and she has fantastic insights on different cards. So let me see if I can find her Instagram. But anyway, a similar vibe to Madam Adam, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, she has glasses?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm following her right now. Okay, I'll check her out.
Cool. And let's see, what was your very first tarot deck? Did
Well, I
just
don't remember, but the one that, the Royal Fez, uh, what is going on here? The Royal Fez and Moroccan. I love this deck. I love it, the simplicity of it. It was actually, created by the gentleman that founded Mensa.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me put that up.
Um,
I just love it. Colors are simple, blue, red. They're pencil drawings. Can you see that?
I can, yeah.
They're pencil drawings.
Oh,
They're
nice.
just they're just really, really beautiful. I don't know, they just speak to
Oh, they're beautiful. They are beautiful. They're
I love
simple, and the
very
shades are
simple.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's all pencil,
Pretty.
and then they color them in. And he created these in, like, the late 1950s, but they didn't actually get published until the 70s,
Oh, cool.
after he had died.
Oh, cool.
And so I love this deck. I don't use it as much as I should. Um, Very 1970s backs.
Cool. Yep. But that's the deck you connected with. That's really
Yeah,
neat.
it is the first deck. It's my first deck that I said, "This is my soul deck."
Aw.
And I have other I think the 2 ones that, like, probably supersede those is the Bohemian Gothic.
Mhm.
That one really got me excited, and then, the, where is it? Oh my god, the Spoiler Tarot.
Cool.
Like, I recorded the video opening it up yesterday. My heart was going, like, my breathing was getting I got emotional. I was like, "Oh my god, I need to chill out. It's a deck of cards, Vinny."
Awesome, though. But you're excited about it, and that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I am. Can't do a deep dive in it because I won't do that until I actually feel like I have a good command of the
Yeah,
Rider-Waite-Smith first, because there's so many layers to that deck, like tons of layers.
there are the
So,
symbology stuff is the hard stuff for me.
yeah.
Um, So so what cards do you feel you really don't you asked me this earlier, I can't remember, sorry, my memory is bad. Which cards are the ones that you just really struggle with the most?
The court cards, but that's because I haven't put the time in. I think I don't feel like I really struggle with any particular card. I think justice and judgment was really hard until I figured that out between inside and outside. Um, the high priestess, still some other than the word intuitive, I think there's so much more than that I struggle with. Um, for a while, it was the Four of Cups that I struggled with. But I will. What are your favorite cards? Like generally, what are your favorite
That
cards?
was gonna be my next question is what card resonates most with you? So the star card is
Mm,
the one that resonates most for me. When I first started tarot, I was in kind of a rough place. Like I said, it was kind of around COVID time. We had just moved here. I didn't know anybody. We'd lived in the same place for 15 years and raised our kids in the place we lived before. So it was just like, yeah, so the star card would come up all the time in readings, and that hope, that hope, that hope I really kind of held on to, and that fact that it's one of the wish cards in the deck. Um, and I'm an Aquarius, so it's, I guess it fits. But the star card is my favorite card in the deck. How about you?
the Five of Pentacles.
Oh, wow.
I know a lot of people are thrown by that, but the Five of Pentacles is the card that I feel resonates within me the most. And part of the reason is because there's so much resiliency in that card.
Yeah.
There's a lot of suffering and a sense of hopelessness, but the idea that, if I just take one more step, maybe things could change. Like there's a silver. I think the stained glass is the silver lining,
Yes. That's
and
really
so
true.
I have gone through some major life challenges, like things that people would say, like people who have not been able to live through. I've been very fortunate. For example, I've been diagnosed with cancer several times, not just once. And I had two of them were very, very serious. I ended up in the ICU with one. The other one was I ended up experiencing physical pain at a level that I don't have the vocabulary to express. Horrific, torturous, unbearable. Don't come close to the physical pain that I experienced. Morphine wasn't helping. I mean, it was bad. And so in that moment, I could see myself in the Five of Pentacles. If I could just get through this, I'll be fine. If I can just get into that chapel, I'll be fine.
Wow, that's beautiful. I'm
And
so
so
suffering.
that really resonates with me a lot. And so and that card also really does hold a lot of hope, and it's really about, you know, take what are you willing to do to take that next step?
Mhm.
What which gets you to the Six of Pentacles.
Right. Right.
And I think the Five of Pentacles is much heavier. It's similar, but very different than the Ten of Wands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there is some overlap, but the Five of Pentacles, of all the cards that I'm gonna get, the Five of Pentacles is the one that I feel I personally know the best.
Oh, very cool. Oh, that's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry you went through all that. I'm happy
Oh,
that
man, it was
you're here.
horrible, but this is the longest I've been in remission.
Oh,
Uh, 8 years now that I've been in remission.
fantastic.
So, yeah, and one of the reasons I have longer hair is because I had lost it twice,
Uh, yeah,
long hair, and so I just keep long hair.
there you go. Well, it suits you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright, well, unless we have anything else to say, we've been talking for an hour and 45 minutes.
It's been wonderful. It's so nice to
Really, like, so easy to talk to you.
meet you. It's easy to talk to you too. Thank you so much. This was
So, I'm going to and just so you know, your image did clear up and kind of
good.
back and
Good.
forth, but we had only one glitch after that, but it went great. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you for
really
having
appreciate it.
me.
And I'm gonna put, your link below to your channel so people can go and visit, and please subscribe her channel's great. It's just starting up. She could really use the support. I mean, we're a community, so come on. Uh,
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, you glitched out. The name of the subscribe was
no, no, I'm gonna put your channel.
thank you. So yes, please do.
It's nice to get subscribers, you know. You look at the number, like I'm over 600. I'm like, what? You know,
Well
they,
deserved, well deserved.
all those little milestones, they make a difference. They make us feel good.
They do. Exactly. Thank you so much. This was so wonderful.
Okay. Benny. Well, everyone, my name is Benny. I am the Fool's Apprentice. And until next time, have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye.